Merhaba, hello and welcome to Wion Wings, India's first TV aviation show, and I'm your host Sumit Chaturvedi. This time we are bringing you this special episode from Turkey's cultural capital Istanbul and also one of the fastest growing aviation markets in the world. The country is awaiting the opening of a new airport that will open a few hundred kilometers from here by the end of current year, and the country is hoping it will bring new prosperity to the nation. This is Atatürk International Airport, named after the country's first president, Mustafa Atatürk. It started operations in the year 2000 and also handles 1.5 million passengers every single day. It's not only a destination where people start connecting to European destinations, it's also hub to one of the biggest airlines in the world and also the national flag carrier Turkish Airlines. I will tell you more about my journey from New Delhi to Istanbul, but before that, I tell you what's there on our show this week.
This week on Wion Wings, can biometrics and facial recognition soon replace boarding passes? We tell you which are the top 10 airlines of the world and some useful tips to help you overcome jet lag.
NASA has unveiled a new experimental aircraft. The world's largest airliner is getting ready for takeoff, and a passenger spaceship has completed its first supersonic flight. All this and much more from the world of aviation in our segment News Deck.
The supersonic Concorde was the ultimate luxury in air travel. But it was an aircraft that was also known for its deafening noise. Possibly the world's most famous aircraft, it retired after 27 years of service in 2003. But the world could soon see a supersonic airplane, one that isn't as noisy. American space agency NASA is teaming up with California-based Lockheed Martin on a project to silence the sonic boom.
This piloted X-plane will be built specifically to fly technologies that reduce the loudness of a sonic boom to that of a gentle thump.
It's currently illegal to make supersonic flight over land because of the noisy boom created by breaking the sound barrier. NASA has awarded Lockheed Martin Aeronautics a contract that will allow the defense contractor to continue developing the quiet supersonic technology aircraft. Xu Yue, an aviation buff who lives in northeastern China, always wanted to own an aircraft. Since he couldn't afford to buy one, he did the next best thing. He started building one on his own. The 40-year-old, who has worked as a welder and an auto mechanic, is in process of building a full-scale replica of an Airbus A320 jet. He spent months studying the plane models and technical drawings before taking on the mammoth project with his friends. He has so far spent more than $150,000 of his savings and hopes to complete it by the end of the year at a total cost of about $300,000. Once ready, he plans to turn the replica into an aviation-themed restaurant. 257 people, including members of Western Sahara's Polisario independence movement, were killed when a military plane crashed in a field outside Algeria's capital on 11th of April. The plane was heading to Tindouf, an area on Algeria's border with Western Sahara, but crashed on the airport's perimeter. Tindouf is home to thousands of refugees from the Western Sahara standoff, many of them Polisario supporters. UN attempts to broker a settlement have failed for years in the vast desert area. The world's biggest plane, the Antonov An-225 Mriya, took to the skies from the airport outside Kyiv, 3rd of April. The Ukraine-built plane has left Kyiv for a flight to Leipzig, Germany, from where it will make a commercial mission. Hundreds of people of different ages lined up around Kyiv Antonov Airport to witness the rare flight of the giant aircraft. Designed by Antonov in the late 80s, the Mriya is the longest and heaviest airplane ever built. Powered by 6 turbofan engines, the aircraft is capable of carrying up to 640 tons of cargo. The aircraft was recently modernized and was fitted with a new navigation system and some electronic equipment. Mriya has set 240 aviation records since being put into service about 30 years ago. Richard Branson's company Virgin Galactic conducted a supersonic test flight with its Spaceship Two passenger rocket ship. 3.5 years earlier, after a fatal accident on an earlier version of the ship. The second suborbital spaceship made its first rocket-powered test flight over the Sierra Nevada mountains. The winged vehicle, named VSS Unity, dropped from the belly of Virgin Galactic's carrier aircraft, VMS Eve, and fired its hybrid rocket motor for 30 seconds, accelerating to a top speed of Mach 1.87, nearly twice the speed of sound. In October 2014, an earlier model of the spaceship had suffered a catastrophic in-flight breakup and crashed, killing one pilot and injuring the other. A US Marine helicopter crashed during a training session in Southern California, killing all 4 crew members. The helicopter was a Sikorsky CH-53E Super Stallion from the 3rd Marine Aircraft Wing in Miramar. Considered to be the largest and heaviest helicopter in the United States military, it is used for minesweeping and transport and can carry dozens of troops and tons of cargo. The accident is the deadliest Marine accident since a cargo plane went down in the Mississippi Delta, killing 15 Marines and a sailor last July. The cause of the crash is under investigation. Indian carrier Jet Airways has entered into an agreement with American aircraft manufacturer Boeing for the purchase of 75 Boeing 737 MAX narrow-body jets. Boeing said in a statement that Jet Airways will be the first Indian airline to take delivery of the new and improved 737 jet. The jets would be worth $8.8 billion at list prices, although airlines receive a significant discount from manufacturers. India is adding airline passengers faster than any other country in the world, and airlines are looking to add more jets to meet the exploding demand, making it one of the most targeted sales markets for Boeing and its European rival, Airbus.
For aviation enthusiasts, flying with different airlines and comparing them with each other is more fun than arriving at the destination itself. So which are the top airlines in the world? We'll take a look at an annual survey by TripAdvisor. The result may take you by surprise.
The skies are full of travelers on airplanes. Providing them the best service possible are these airlines that continually strive to make everyone's journey memorable. In this fierce battle of the skies, here are the top 10 airlines as ranked by the 2018 Traveller's Choice Awards by TripAdvisor. The results of this one-year survey are based on flyer reviews. Feedback on quality of experience as well as sheer number of reviews were taken into account. So let's start the countdown unveiling the best airlines in the world. Starting things off in the 10th place is Korean Air. The South Korean airline operates flights to 43 countries and 123 destinations. Always a frontrunner in flyer reviews, Korean Air has slipped 4 spots from last year's list. Coming in at number 9 is the South American airline Azul. The only South American airline in the list has nosedived 6 spots from the lofty 3rd spot it occupied in last year's list. The Brazilian carrier serves 105 destinations in the US, Europe and South America. Qatar Airways, making its debut on the list, comes in at an impressive 8th place. Based out of Doha, the carrier serves 150 destinations across 6 continents. Upstaging its famous counterpart British Airways is another airline from the UK, Jet2.com. The 3rd largest airline in the UK, it flies 12 million passengers annually. No small feat when you consider its fleet has just 50 aircraft. The low-cost carrier flies to more than 50 destinations across Europe. Just missing out on a top 5 spot is Southwest Airlines, coming in at number 6. A major carrier from the USA, the airline serves 120 million passengers annually and operates to 10 countries besides the US. An Asian airline that has secured a place in the top 10 is EVA Air. The Taiwanese carrier made its debut in the list and flies to more than 60 destinations across the world. Say hello to the land of the rising sun. Japan Airlines ranks 4th in the list. The carrier serves about 41 million passengers. Japan Airlines is on the way up, leapfrogging 3 spots from last year. After topping last year's countdown, Emirates has slid to the 3rd spot this year. One of the 2 airlines from the Middle East placed in the top 10, Emirates flies to over 155 destinations in more than 80 countries around the world. Kiwis rule the skies. Well, almost. Up 3 spots from last year is Air New Zealand, which takes the runners-up spot this year. The Kiwi carrier flies more than 15 million passengers a year. With an operating fleet of 105 aircraft, the airline dominates the entire Pacific Rim. If you had your bets on Qantas, Etihad or Lufthansa, then lick your wounds. The numero uno, the newly crowned king of the skies, is last year's bridesmaid, Singapore Airlines. Apart from taking top honours overall, the airline topped 7 categories in the survey, including Best Airline Asia, Best Economy Class World and Best International First Class World.
We showed you interesting stories from the world of aviation. We'll show you more stories, but before that, it's time to take a break. I'll also go and take a break in business lounge of an airline.
Long-haul flights, traveling in the wee hours, jumping time zones. These are the 3 main culprits behind jet lag. Studies have found that it takes a full day to recover from each time zone you travel through. To understand this better, Team Wion Wings took a medium-haul flight from New Delhi, India to Istanbul, Turkey.
Gates are open and we are all set to board this flight to Istanbul, the Turkish airline flight in which we will be boarding the B777 aircraft. It will definitely have new experiences and new services to talk about. We'll talk about all that, but let us experience that first.
After takeoff, we settled in for the 7-hour-long journey. Whether you're sitting in economy or business class, your body is crossing the same number of time zones. But there's every chance that the business class flyer will have an easier time of it.
So we are all set to enjoy the business class of this Turkish Airlines flight flying to Istanbul. So this is my overall, it looks like a small cabin, and what have been given? They have given me a welcome kit, a Bentley fragrances kit. What all is there inside this kit? Let me see. Socks. Wow. Socks are required to maintain the right kind of blood flow in your legs. When you travel for hours and hours together, there are problems in your leg. And good socks will help you. Second, what is there inside? Sleep mask. Wow, that is required. I need that sleep mask because I want to sleep. And this will cut the light. And this will help me in sleeping. Sleep mask is very, very good. And then comes a comb, toothpaste and brush, and this is lip balm. Lip balm is very good. It's required because of the overall dehydration. The lips crack and lip balm is required. Let me use some. So this is kit which I have been given to me as part of my welcome to this flight, especially to the business class. It has got everything which I'll be need while flying from New Delhi to Istanbul. But I have a travel companion here also. The neck pillow. I generally use this, but today I don't need this. I'm in business class and I have wider seats.
Fly like a seasoned traveler with these helpful tips to beat jet lag. Eating fresh food on board can help reduce tiredness to quite an extent. And don't forget to get some shut-eye. Find comfortable clothes to wear on long flights. Do reserve a good seat. Always make sure that you get some sleep before you board. Carry less luggage. And lastly, don't forget to guzzle lots of water. The real test happens after you touch down. Adjust your body according to the time zone of the destination by staying awake until bedtime.
Very nice experience, so great and successful, because not even the fly, even all the staff of the fly was successful. The meal and everything was really okay.
The food was very nice and I could sleep very well. That's the most important thing for me, to sleep, and I could sleep very well.
So next time when you fly out, remember these tips and have a good flight.
Do you know that Hyderabad's Rajiv Gandhi International Airport is the first one to start tag-free hand baggage system, and the whole country followed it. Now they are taking the paperless travel to a different level. On this and much more, I caught up with the CEO of Rajiv Gandhi International Airport in Hyderabad. A decade has passed and many more years are yet to come. We are joined today by CEO of Rajiv Gandhi International Airport in Hyderabad to talk about a lot of things. Thanks for talking to us. First of all, we would like to know about this past 1 decade, and also we would like to know how this airport is different from other airports in the country.
Yeah, I think Hyderabad airport has a unique distinction because it was the first PPP greenfield airport which was tried out. When I say PPP, it is public-private partnership. So bringing in a private entity partner into the entire gamut of airport development, right from concept to design, building and operating it. So this is the entire new experience and experiment which was done in Indian aviation industry, and the journey has been very, very good in the sense that this airport has set some global standards. It's for other airports to emulate, and this is the first airport from a service quality point of view started getting ranked in top 3 airports almost all the 10 years of its operations.
Well, digital technology has always been at the forefront of your operations, and we are also hearing you are going to roll out a paperless traveling very soon for passengers. How will it help the whole move?
We strongly believe airport is the face of a particular region. So Hyderabad, as you know, is a very dynamic city, be it from a point of infrastructure, be it in terms of quality of life. So we wanted to bring on those aspects of Hyderabad city into the airport as well. So being an IT destination, we also started looking into last 3 to 4 years, how do we bring in new IT technologies into the passenger processing, in the terminal operations, etc. And one of the first things what we did is, if you see a typical passenger flow in an airport, at every stage you'll have to produce documents, be it identity, be it air ticket, be it boarding cards, and there's a lot of manual stampings and all those things. So the first step what we thought is, how can we get rid of these things? How can we get rid of? So Hyderabad airport is the first airport where even this dispensing of stamping of handbag tags was piloted. And another important thing is, all these aspects have to do with security agencies. So convincing them that a technology-based processing would be much more foolproof than a manual processing. So we have digital cameras tracking all the activities. So even the security personnel are very, very vigilant because they know there's a camera tracking them. So they are more vigilant, and the throughput of all the processing has increased. So that is how Today, the design capacity of the existing airport is around 12 million. We have been successfully handling around 18 million without compromising on the service standards. So that's how it started. Then Hyderabad airport is the first airport, even boarding cards are not being stamped. Now when boarding cards are not being stamped, what we thought is, do we really require a boarding card? Right? So that is how this concept of biometrics, using biometrics to identify the individual and also to get his travel details. So that is where now we are starting a proof of concept or a pilot project of using face recognition. Because as you know, biometrics is the new, this artificial intelligence, machine recognition, data analytics is the new wave of technology. So we thought that let us use the facial recognition features. Now this has already been implemented in Changi new terminal. So why can't we do it in India, right? So that is how we have been doing, and parallelly we have been advocating this new technologies with Government of India, and I am very happy to inform you that Government of India's one of the focus areas is this Digi Yatra, right from home to the destination. How do you give a seamless experience to the passenger? So we are in the forefront of the Digi Yatra experiment. Yeah.
Well, that's a very valid point, and I would like to now ask you what kind of traffic you handle at Rajiv Gandhi International Airport, and how are you making the overall experience for a flyer hassle-free at the airport?
So one bottom line for everyone who works in Hyderabad airport is passenger is prime. The focus is on passenger. Today in Hyderabad airport we are encouraging remote check-ins. Why should passengers come and check in at the terminal, right? So how do we keep passengers getting their checked-in processes remote? So the new terminal now, recently the Honorable Chief Minister has laid the foundation stone for the terminal expansion. We are almost doubling the capacity to, first phase will be 26 million and our next phase will be 34 million. So the whole expansion design would be based on technology. It will all be self-check-ins and backdrops. 50 to 60% of processing will be happening self-check-in and backdrops. It will all be using now in the security check-in process, security screening process, we are trying to bring in this biometrics which I already mentioned. So one is that, how do we optimize the existing resources and doing that. Second is, while you are expanding, how can we bring in modular expansions? Because now you have a congestion, you can't overbuild and incur capex, again which will be passed on to the passengers or to the airlines. So in Hyderabad what we have done is the entire terminal design is a modular design, wherein I keep expanding based on the traffic growth. All the positive attributes which are there, if you take Hyderabad, it will have a tick mark.
Alright, sir, thank you so much for talking to us, and pleasure having you on our show, and wish you all the best for your expansion project as well. Here we were talking to CEO of Rajiv Gandhi International Airport, and we will keep on bringing you big names from the world of aviation. That's all we have in our show Wion Wings this week. Please share your views with us. If you have interesting photos or videos, please tweet them with the hashtag Wion Wings. We'll try to feature them in our show. But before we go, we leave you with video of a man flying high in the sky. But there is a twist. There's no flight involved. Goodbye and take care.